Okay. Good morning, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this new Argentina-Texas Chamber of Commerce webinar presented by Emiliano Gasparovic with SOCO Solutions. The webinar title is Innovation in Human Resources, Optimization of Resume Analysis and Management. I am Federico Tagliani, your host and moderator for this session. Thank you for joining us today. Before we start, let me make a moment to introduce ourselves and give you a brief overview of who we are and what we do. The Argentina-Texas Chamber of Commerce is an independent, nonprofit, voluntary membership association founded in 2016 to promote investment, trade, education, and networking opportunities between Texas and Argentina. The Chamber is dedicated to building a strong economic bond between Argentina and Texas. In this webinar, we'll dive into how artificial intelligence can transform the way we handle and analyze large volumes of resumes. You'll discover how AI can pinpoint the right candidate for each position by using advanced algorithms to filter and select applicants that align with specific job requirements. We'll also explore tools and methods to effectively compare candidate skills and experience, all designed to accelerate your hiring process. Our speaker today is Emiliano Gasparovic. Emiliano is an electronic engineer graduate of the University of Buenos Aires in Argentina, with a specialization in deep learning and neural networks. With over 5 years of experience in the field, he currently leads the R&D department at SOCO Solutions. Finally, we would like to thank our corporate members for their continued support of the Chamber. Our gold member, Pan American Energy, our silver members, Eurolight, Globant, and PCR, as well as our bronze members, AESA, Marble of Our Memorial, Mayor Brown, ProShale, Q Advance, CAPEX, and Dell Technologies. Let me mention that our webinars are recorded and uploaded to our YouTube channel. Before we begin, a quick overview of how today's session will unfold. Emiliano will deliver his presentation without interruptions. We encourage you to submit your questions in the Q&A chat at any time, and we will address them with Emiliano after his talk concludes. Emiliano, the stage is yours.
Thanks, Federico. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining on this webinar. Today, we're going to discuss and talk about how we can leverage AI on human resources processes. So let's begin by discussing the outline of this presentation. First, we're going to briefly discuss about AI nowadays. Then we're going to talk about current challenges in talent acquisition. After that, we are going to discuss what involves, AI in comparison to traditional methods of recruiting. Then we are going to look at the AI architecture we are proposing for resume analysis. After that, we are going to discuss some of the results we got and some of the interesting features that this solution presents. Then we will see a brief demonstration of this platform. And after that, we are going to discuss what can be done on top of that solution. So first, let me introduce, AI. Most of you already know what it is, but today, it takes part on every innovative process automation and allows to speed them up. Generative AI nowadays, especially large language models like GPT and Llama, have enhanced even further our capabilities to assist and streamline our now-choose tasks. Although most of the time, AI is associated with some expected deterministic outcomes. For example, when we want to extract an entity from an invoice, or if we want to extract the surname on an ID card, this technology still can be applied to more subjective human-involving tasks. A good example of a human-involving task is, of course, human resources selection processes. So let's see what are the current challenges that we may face in talent acquisition. One interesting challenge is knowing your people, that is, knowing the people maybe in your company or in your talent pool. It is not an easy task to keep in mind every detail of human resources. I mean, the people that you may have in your company or as part of your database, let's say, especially when dealing with a lot of people. Even if the HR team grows, not everyone is able to recall the exact information about the candidate, and looking for it may delay some critical decisions. When you are just trying to hire someone, well, most of the time there are other people trying to recruit that candidate. So gaining time in that kind of stuff, well, it's really important. So having maybe a platform to help with that would be great. The second challenge is choosing the right candidate. Looking for specific abilities and skills between many resumes is a time-consuming task. It is even worse if some abbreviations or synonyms are used, as keyword search is not able to match those cases, and you may lose a valuable candidate. For example, if someone, well, writes or misspells a word and you are using a keyword based approach, well, you might lose someone just because he wrote something wrong, or maybe he has an equivalent ability and it's not written exactly as you are looking for. Another important challenge in talent acquisition is comparing skill, because when you have to decide between a couple of candidates with different backgrounds or abilities, well, it requires a good amount of knowledge on the field, and even skilled HR analysts might make mistakes or forget some equivalent tools, skills, etc. For example, if you are looking for a seasoned CAD designer that uses SolidWorks, and maybe you find someone else that, well, is seasoned in using Autodesk Inventor, they are pretty much the same purpose tool, but, well, sometimes you can translate that experience to other tools or other fields. So these especially recruiting processes where you need to compare things, well, maybe this is very difficult, especially if you are not very accustomed to that industry. And then the other challenge, important challenge, is when you are trying to decide between external versus internal hiring, because you need to be aware of the current capabilities of your employees, and then checking if a current employee may fit with that position that you want to fill, well, can become challenging on larger companies. Let's go on and compare briefly what involves manual analysis on a resume, and how it compares with an AI-guided process. A manual analyst, when analyzing a resume, might not know the subtle differences or similarities between different tools, technologies, techniques, as I have said previously. AI, on the other hand, especially large language models, nowadays have a built-in broader knowledge, and, well, that knowledge can be leveraged to analyze and understand the resumes. And even if we have some custom criterion for the selection or some things that the model might be missing, well, it can be equipped with updated info on some specific subject. Another interesting thing is that manual analysis of resumes involve skimming and or scanning many documents with different layouts. The candidates just send their resumes, and most of the time they have different colors, different layouts, different information even. And, well, that's a time-consuming task. On the other hand, AI can ingest thousands of documents in just minutes. So that's a great advantage. And in fact, if you need to make it quicker, well, you can just scale the compute and make it even faster. A third interesting point is, and this is an advantage for manual analysis, is that HR analysts can effectively determine if a candidate is a good fit for a position. On the other hand, the AI is not good enough for this. AI can suggest candidates for a position, but the information should be double-checked. The current technology that we have, although we think that AI is capable of everything, it still suffers from hallucinations from time to time. So it needs to be at least checked or double-checked, let's say, with a human person. And last, making a comparison between more than 4 candidates means, at least for a manual analysis, taking notes, going back and forth between different documents. Maybe 4, it's even manageable yet, but when you start having, I don't know, 20, 30, well, it's probably a hard task to do or even time-consuming. And on the other hand, AI is capable of automatically comparing all these candidates quickly. So yes, our proposal for this is humans should do what humans do their best, that is having their criterions and filtering, making the last decision, and machines are the best to understand lots of documents and data at the same time. So that's why we propose this AI architecture. It is called Retrieval Augmented Generation. Maybe some of you have heard of it. It uses a large language model, or LLM, to generate the text and guide the research, let's say. Some well-known providers or models are, well, GPT from OpenAI, Mistral, Claude from Anthropic, and Llama from Meta. And a hybrid search architecture is what allows us to do at the same time a keyword-based search and a semantic search. And this is where it is really relevant, because this allows us to handle lots of documents. And even if the recruiter makes a mistake, well, by doing some semantic search, we are able to recover results even when we are not 100% matching with the database. Some examples of vector DBs are Chroma, Qdron, Pinecone. Some of them are open source, some of them are services that you can use via an API. And well, some well-known search engines that are more classic are, well, Elasticsearch, Sphinx, and OpenSearch. In fact, and this is a trend, that some search engines are integrating now VectorDB capabilities and semantic search capabilities. So in the future, it seems that all this block will be just one solution. And well, although this is at a high level, the architecture that we are using, there are many specific details. Like, for example, when we are dealing with resumes, although the optimal case is when we get a text PDF, sometimes we get an image or a PDF that has an embedded image, because, well, it depends on what they are rendering their PDF on. So at this part is fundamental to detect if there is text or not in the file that we are uploading. And if it's the case, we need to use an OCR. Today we have very good OCRs, cloud-based, like Amazon Textract, or Google Cloud has a very good offering too. Or we can use a software that we run it on our own infrastructure, like Tesseract or Paddle OCR. Also, this whole structure is used in an agentic approach. This is, We are using language models that will choose which tools or which queries will they do to the hybrid search part of our solution. So with this architecture, we can get the following results. We can easily ask for specific details about a candidate. In this case, the hybrid search gets the relevant information to answer that question. And the LLM is the one in charge of building the answer to the user. This process, because we are using an agentic approach, what will happen behind the scenes, let's say, is that the LLM will create different queries against the databases, and then it will go collecting the relevant information. At any moment, if it doesn't get any relevant information, well, it will desist and it will return or state that there is no matching information. Another interesting thing is that we can compare candidates according to their skills, working experience, education, etc. The agentic approach internally makes multiple relevant queries. As I've said with the previous point, this time the agent, what we'll do is multiple queries to the DBs, but this time asking for specific topics about each of the candidates that we want to compare. Then another, and probably this is the most interesting feature, is that we can find a suitable person for a position. You just ask the requirements for the job, and the LLM generates the relevant queries. Thanks to the hybrid search that we have, you don't need to worry to write the exact position or word or keyword. You can even get feedback by the LLM if you don't get any close matches. Then by using this a solution like this, you can reduce the time spent manually opening and closing several files. All the information is available in a conversational interface. If you have to manually analyze, let's say, 20 resumes, well, you have to open, close them, look where you have them. It depends on how you have organized your files, of course, but you still have to manually go looking file by file. In this case, everything is stored in both DBs, the vectorial DB and the search engine. And then, well, you can either, you don't need to go to Google Drive or wherever you have the files. You just write your query and you're good to go. And then another interesting feature is that you can lower the knowledge barrier for specialized recruiting processes. The HR analyst does not need to recall every detail about tool technologies, etc. That happens a lot, at least on IT recruiting, that we have lots of technologies, and in fact, we are having new tools and solutions every day. So keeping updated maybe is challenging. And well, in this case, the HR analyst does not need to spend additional time learning all the details about the target position industry. This can avoid mistakes and allows to include maybe candidates that could have been discarded on a first glance. So with this scope in mind, we will have a demonstration of this platform. First, we are going to upload to this platform 11 IT candidates. We can see now we click on load files. This is the time that it takes to upload to the DB. It's near instantly. It really scales well, even if you have thousands of documents. These are our company files. So we are going to ask just to check which kind of skills they have. We can't show them to you, luckily. What are some of the skills mentioned in all the resumes? Please do not mention any personal data like name, surname, etc., as this is a public demo. So this is processing right now. And here we have the answer. The skills mentioned across all the resumes include JavaScript, SQL, Python, all IT-related technologies. So what I am going to ask now is, I am going to look for a candidate with experience in healthcare. It will be working as a medical doctor in a hospital. Who do you think it would be suitable and why? What we expect as an answer is that no candidate matches the skills required for that position. And in fact, that's the answer we got. None of the candidates have experience in healthcare or have worked as medical doctors. Great. So now we are going to add a resume of a candidate that has medical background. I'm going to try to show it better to you. This is a fake resume, so no problem with showing all the details. Here it says medical professional, it has experience in clinic, Red Cross, hospital, so it should be a good fit for this position. So we are going to clear this panel. Clearing this panel does not mean that the documents are deleted from the DB. It just allows us to upload new documents. So we drag and drop them there, load the file, and then we are going to ask again. I have updated the resumes. Can you look again? And what we expect is that it should suggest Elena Moreau as a good candidate. And well, that's the case. The suitable candidate with experience in healthcare, specifically as a medical doctor in hospitals, is Elena Moreau. And well, a brief summary of her experience. Great, so let's now check that when we got that no good candidates were available, let's check that it wasn't by chance. So we are going now to check for a candidate for a mining position. So now I am looking for a professional to work on the mining industry. It will be in charge of designing extraction processes. Can you name some candidates? And well, once again, what we expect is that it should suggest no candidates. And that's the case. None of the candidates have experience in the mining industry. So we are going to repeat the process. We're going to upload some mining relevant candidates, but this time we are not going to upload just one, we are going to upload 4. Now that it has loaded, we are going to ask pretty much as we did the last time. Please look again. I have updated the documents. It may take a little bit longer because we are having multiple answers for that. And here we have the relevant answers. The candidates with experience in the mining industry are, well, Miguel Ortega, position lead mining engineer, experience, roles, the same for Carlos Silva, senior mining engineer, and Sofia Reyes, senior mining engineer. Well, great, we got some matches. So now we want to get a bit more specific. Who would you suggest for a copper extraction process and why? And let's see what we get as an answer. Then it says, I would suggest Miguel Ortega for the copper extraction process due to his extensive experience in redesigning mineral processing facilities and conducting feasibility studies, which are crucial for optimizing copper extraction. That way we can, let's say, get a second thought on the different candidates, of course. Well, then we can even compare some of the candidates. So we can propose, for example, can you compare Carlos Silva, Miguel Ortega, and Sofia Reyes? This way, instead of having to compare manually all the candidates, we just can say, please compare them, and then we get an analysis. Of course, behind the scenes, what is happening is that the LLM is creating queries against the DB, and then once it's getting relevant answers, well, it's composing the answer to our query. So sometimes it takes longer because, well, you can't really handle the queries that it is going to make against the DB. And just to check while this is processing, I will show you this mock resumes, because as I stated previously, the LLMs have certain degree of hallucination, but it is getting lower and lower each day because of the advances on the field. But well, as we can see, previously we got Miguel Ortega as a good candidate, and if we look at Miguel Ortega's resume, here it states that he has been working on relevant mining activities and that stuff. Great. Here we got the comparison between each of the candidates, experiences and role, technical skills, and at the very end, we got a summary on their strengths. So Carlos Silva is strong in overseeing mining operation, Miguel Ortega specializes in mineral processing, and Sofia Reyes has expertise in mine design, safety management, etc. So it's a great tool to compare the different profiles. Then, just to check that when we are clearing this panel, we are not losing anything on the DB, we are going to go back to Elena Moreau, our doctor, and we're going to ask which languages does Elena Moreau speak. And if we look again at Elena Moreau's resume, we can see that, in fact, that information is okay: French, English, and Spanish. So we got enough versatility to ask very broad questions across all our database and all our resumes, and we can make specific queries and answer, and we got the answers we need. Okay, great. So let's go back to the presentation just to sum up some of the future work and how can this be improved even further. What can be done with AI to make HR tasks even less challenging? First, we can summarize the resumes. Just when the resumes are uploaded or you receive the resumes on an email, for example, well, it can be summarized just to get at a glance what kind of candidate it is, etc. Another interesting thing to do is to find what are the most common skills or topics. This would be really useful to answer questions like, what skills are most present in a company, which are lacking as a company on a certain industry, what capabilities are missing. These kind of answers could improve the search for new talent and also allow for better long-term human resources planning. Another interesting feature to integrate would be updates on resumes automatically. sometimes, well, you just make all the onboarding of the people, and then time starts passing, and they gradually gain new skills and experience, and then, I don't know, 3-4 years have passed and you don't have a formal update on the skills of that person. Well, maybe it is a good idea to implement a direct conversational interface with the employee to update their information and keep all the resumes updated. You could also automatically anonymize and unify resume layout. Some recruitment agencies have to hand over the resume to the client, and well, it is better to pass those resumes anonymized in a standard template so that the client can compare the resumes easily, and well, they can't contact directly the candidate that you are trying to introduce. It could be also used, AI can be also used to detect possible duplicates before uploading the documents to the DB. This is useful because some companies sometimes hire more than a single recruitment agency, and it could happen that they reach the same candidate and they try to introduce the same candidate. So to avoid confusion and to keep everything okay, to keep data consistent, the duplicates can be detected just at the time that the recruitment agency uploads the document. Of course, although maybe you can say, well, you can check the name of the file or just check that the content is exactly the same. Well, sometimes candidates have a couple of different models of resumes with different layouts, different information. So it's not that trivial to check for that information. So AI could be of good help on that kind of task. And with that, we have reached to the end of our presentation. I want to thank you all, and for any technical inquiries after the questions that we are going to answer right now, you can contact me at igasparovic@socosolutions.com, and for any commercial matter, you can contact Sebastián Rodriguez, srodriguez@socosolutions.com. Thank you.
Thanks, Emiliano. Great presentation and exciting tool. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and insight. It's a super current relevant topic for the success of our organizations, all related to talent and AI. So we have a couple of questions. I have a question by Mayan. How can we integrate this solution into our data and infrastructure in the middle of those discussions on how to handle AI inside organizations?
Yes. Well, I mean, one of the fears when you look something like this that maybe you don't know very well is that, well, how can you integrate your data? And well, this is just a demo, but it is really easy to integrate with other platforms where you may be hosting your data, like Google Drive, OneDrive, S3. Even that's part of what we mentioned here. If you just post a job on a platform like Monster, Indeed, you just can via an API get that information and just upload it to the DBs. So yes, we are considering that kind of integration, so it's not a problem for them.
That's great. We have here Alejandro congratulating you and saying that the tool looks amazing, and that he would like to know more about the cost of it.
Okay. Well, it's a bit complicated to establish a cost for this because as we are using an LLM as part of the solution, we have a variable cost there. So what drives the cost of this solution is mostly how much you are asking questions and that kind of stuff. It doesn't have many infrastructure costs because we are not hosting the LLM model. That's probably the most the most expensive part, but as we are using an LLM as a service, well, we don't have that problem. And also something that should be mentioned is that it is not a driving cost the amount of documents that you may have. You can upload thousands of documents and it won't be that much expensive than as if you were uploading 20, for example.
Okay, let me see if I understood. It's more or less a cost based on the utilization of the platform.
That's it.
How you use the platform. And is there any way to understand the ROI?
Well, we don't have an estimation on that, but it is expected that it will be, I mean, the cost of using LLMs will get down. In fact, in the last 6 months, it has been down to 1/10 of what it was like a year ago, and they are getting even faster and faster. So the responsiveness of the platforms is increasing month to month also. So we don't have a figure about the or a certain information about the ROI, but we expect that it will be cheaper and cheaper as the time goes by. So
as the underlying technology continues to evolve, as you mentioned,
yes.
How do you evolve your solution to seize the opportunities that the new technology is generating every day?
Well, we are constantly testing new services, new platforms, and that's, I mean, part of the architecture that we are designing is, let's say, it's easy to change for that new advances. And even the platforms that are offering the LLMs as a service also make it easier for you to integrate. So it's thanks to those features that they have on their platforms that we are able to quickly integrate with the latest advancements.
Okay, so in certain way you guarantee that the solution is updated with the latest development of the underlying technologies.
I personally like investigating and researching a lot of new technologies, and the most I can do to move forward with that on our demos and our products, well, it's it's better for the customers, but it's better for us too. So that's the guarantee.
Got it. Understand. We have another question related to the cost of the solution, and the question is: besides the cost of the LLM, do you charge a fee for the tool? How can I present this to my management along with the price, with the estimation?
Okay.
It's in line of the ROI. No, I want this. I love this. I need to present that internally in my organization. I have managers, directors. How do I make a consistent pitch showing the value of this solution?
Great.
Emi, would you like me to go, Emi, there?
Yes, Sebastian Rodriguez is more in charge of the commercial area, so he will answer that.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you, of course, for being here. In this separate issue, we do charge a monthly service fee for hosting in Amazon plus the licenses, but again, it's variable. The main thing to consider here is that the ROI will make sense and it will be a useful tool if we're considering a greater flow of resumes, right? So when we were asked to present this webinar, we told the chamber that it is dedicated, or it is supposed to be most useful for the companies that have a certain flow. A small company wouldn't make much sense because they maybe handle a couple of resumes, but we are already working with a couple of companies that receive maybe hundreds or thousands of resumes to analyze. But you can there's my email. You can contact me anytime. But we do charge a fee for the license. That's monthly, and it will depend on the amount of resumes handled, right?
Perfect. So as Sebastian commented, everyone can connect directly with them, and if you want to work on a specific business case, I think that you, Amy, and Sebastian will give the right elements to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're welcome to any questions for sure.
of course.
And with that, we arrive to the end of the questions. So, hey, thank you very much for everyone to participate. I like to express my sincere thanks for being with us today. A special thank to you, Amy, Sebas, for this insightful presentation, and to Soco Solutions for the support in making this event possible. So,
Thank you. Pedro, may I say something else before we close?
Yes, of course, please, Sebas.
Yeah, I don't know if we express it very clear, but in this webinar we had to take care of the privacy of the data, so we just handled 10 resumes, but the tool is prepared to handle many hundreds of them. We tried it out with 800, with 2,000, and there have been no concerns there. So the volume can be very high there.
Got it.
Okay.
And
Just to clarify there.
Certainly privacy will be a top 3 of any inquiry inside a corporate environment. So very good remarks.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. See you all in the next one. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Great. Thank you.